Today, we're exploring the key ideas from 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. This is an independent educational overview, enriched with our own integrative analysis and actionable exercises. Think of it as a guided reflection to spark your own insights, not a replacement for reading the book itself. Life's brevity is a startling truth. Assuming a lifespan of 80 years, each individual is granted a mere 4,000 weeks. This profoundly finite duration lays bare a central human paradox. Our seemingly boundless aspirations frequently clash with an unforgivingly scant allocation of time. Philosophers throughout history have grappled with this stark reality, acknowledging that life often concludes just as we feel ready to truly embark upon it. One might assume this scarcity would elevate time management to our highest priority, yet contemporary productivity culture often falls short, fixating on superficial efficiencies like optimizing routines or clearing inboxes. These efforts, while seemingly practical, rarely touch upon life's deeper meaning, our relationships, or our societal roles. We find ourselves trapped in a cycle of perpetual busyness, overwhelmed by demands, digital distractions, and the unsettling sensation of time accelerating as we age. Paradoxically, our very attempts to hack time often exacerbate anxiety and leave us feeling emptier. It's as if every gain in efficiency merely speeds up the conveyor belt, delivering new obligations at an even faster clip. This self-defeating pattern leads to a profound disconnect. Despite our frenetic activity, we rarely feel genuinely engaged with what matters most. There's a persistent longing for meaningful connection with loved ones, passions, or larger causes. Yet our days are systematically hijacked by less fulfilling pursuits. We mentally inhabit a perpetual future, forever getting through the present, waiting for an elusive moment when we can finally dedicate ourselves to what counts. This constant striving, driven by a kind of joyless urgency, frequently serves external agendas rather than our inner peace. The fundamental illusion is that one day we will achieve complete control, that the deluge of obligations will recede, our to-do lists will evaporate, and everything will be perfectly managed. This state of absolute control will never materialize. And surprisingly, embracing this impossibility is the true liberation, inviting us to fundamentally reframe our relationship with time, not as a resource to conquer, but as an existence to inhabit. The relentless pursuit of control and its empty promise. The deepest struggles we encounter with time stem not merely from its scarcity, but from a set of inherited, often unconscious beliefs about managing it, beliefs that ironically intensify our predicament. Modern life, despite its comforts, often generates a pervasive anxiety, an underlying current of fear that demands will always outstrip available time. This feeling transcends socioeconomic boundaries, as individuals recoil from acknowledging fundamental limits and the necessity of making difficult choices. Rather than confronting the inherent impossibility of doing everything, we commonly fall into an efficiency trap. We believe the solution to busyness is simply to do more, to optimize and streamline, thereby only deepening the cycle of overwhelm and dissatisfaction. The truth is, our finitude means we can never complete everything we could theoretically do, nor can we predict or control the unfolding of future events with any certainty. This reality calls for a radical shift. The true challenge of navigating our finite existence is not about optimizing productivity, but about intelligently deciding what to neglect and finding peace with that choice. Procrastination is not a flaw to be eradicated, but an escapable aspect of human life. At any given moment, we are, by definition, putting off almost everything else. Therefore, the genuine aim should become an adept procrastinator, consciously choosing which tasks to defer in favor of those that truly merit our attention. Many popular productivity frameworks, such as the metaphor of filling a jar with big rocks first, misleadingly suggest that meticulous prioritization can accommodate all important tasks. This perspective is flawed because the real dilemma isn't distinguishing between the important and the unimportant. It's confronting an overwhelming abundance of tasks, many of which genuinely feel significant. The problem is not fitting everything in, but acknowledging that not everything can or should fit. Our inherent need to control future outcomes is a deeply ingrained human trait, often productive in high-stakes situations, but frequently counterproductive in daily life. This emotional investment in hyper-planning often exacerbates the very anxiety it seeks to alleviate. The future, by its nature, cannot provide the absolute reassurances we crave. To demand certainty only pushes the frontier of our unease further into the horizon. At its core, worry represents the mind's repetitive, futile struggle to guarantee security in an inherently unknowable future, a battle we are ultimately destined to lose. Even when we meticulously plan for every contingency, tasks consistently consume more time than anticipated, a phenomenon that seems to resist our attempts to impose rigid schedules. This reveals a fundamental limitation in our relationship with time, suggesting that our desperate need for mastery over future events, though understandable, is often a counterproductive endeavor. Ultimately, we chase the grand illusion of leaving an indelible mark, of truly mattering in the vast cosmic scheme. However, this quest is inherently futile. Our time is finite and unpredictable, obliging us to make difficult choices rather than pursuing every ambition and leaving us perpetually vulnerable to events beyond our command. Attending to what truly matters in a world of noise. Beyond the illusion of control, another profound challenge lies in the management of our attention. Our attention, in a very real sense, is our life. Unlike material resources like food or money, which facilitate existence, attention defines it. Our experience of being alive is the sum total of everything we choose to focus on. To pay attention to what we do not value is quite literally to pay with our limited existence. This perspective redefines distraction. It's not merely a series of momentary lapses, but any prolonged investment of our finite attention in pursuits less meaningful than others available to us. We are awash in demands on our focus, often finding our minds captured by things we never intended to engage with, leaving us wondering where our time has gone and what we are truly doing with our lives. While digital interfaces are readily blamed for this modern predicament, the struggle is far older, rooted in a philosophical challenge to align our time and focus with our deepest values. Ancient thinkers recognized distraction not simply as an external interruption, but as an inner failing, a weakness of character. The solution to this pervasive distraction isn't to strive for an impossible, total indistractability through relentless, rigid control. Such an aim denies a fundamental human limitation. We inherently need involuntary, bottom-up attention to survive, to notice a rustle in the leaves that might signal danger or an oncoming vehicle. However, the capacity for top-down, voluntary attention is what truly empowers a well-lived life. This conscious direction of focus enables us to imbue experiences with meaning, even in the most challenging circumstances. For example, individuals facing extreme physical discomfort might instinctively try to escape the sensations, only to find this resistance amplifies their suffering. A different approach, focusing intently on the raw sensations themselves without judgment or resistance, can paradoxically diminish the perceived pain. This practice reveals that inner resistance, not the activity itself, is often the true source of discomfort, and that mindful attention can transform mundane tasks into engrossing experiences. This insight extends to our everyday struggle with attention. We often succumb to digital diversions not because our attention is unwillingly stolen, but because we are eager collaborators, seeking an escape from the disagreeable sensations of our present experience or the difficulty of challenging tasks. This internal pull toward easier engagement, away from what is meaningful yet difficult, is a kind of intimate interrupter, a self within the self that promises relief if we redirect our focus. It highlights that our struggle with attention is fundamentally a struggle against an internal desire to flee discomfort. Without this deliberate attention, even the most profound experiences, like a gourmet meal or a cherished friendship, can feel hollow. True care, dedication, and the savoring of life's moments are impossible without focused presence. The challenge, therefore, is to consciously choose where to direct our irreplaceable attention, understanding that this choice is ultimately a choice about how we spend our very existence. Reclaiming presence, patience, and purpose. The intense desire to use time well often paradoxically transforms daily life into an endless waiting game, a series of hurdles to overcome en route to some elusive better future. This instrumental view of time treats the present moment not as valuable in itself, but merely as a means to an end. We see this in the widespread "when I finally" mind, where individuals perpetually postpone genuine satisfaction until some future achievement, a vacation, a promotion, or a perfected life situation. Even accomplished professionals fall into this trap, viewing each task solely as a stepping stone to the next goal, forever chasing a carrot that keeps them from truly living in the present. The profound implication is that we rarely ever arrive at that imagined, perfected future. This pervasive mindset also distorts our understanding of rest. There's a fundamental debate. Is rest an intrinsic good, valued for its own sake, or merely a strategic tool for greater efficiency? Many argue passionately that leisure, whether it's a quiet morning with a book or a rejuvenating trip, holds inherent value and should not need to be defended or rationalized by its ability to enhance productivity or contribute to economic output. This contrasts sharply with the common corporate-driven philosophy that promotes rest primarily through the lens of its quantifiable benefits for work performance. This juxtaposition forces us to consider whether rest is an essential component of a rich life or simply a means to an end, another optimization strategy. Our deeply ingrained impulse for control manifests as an impatience spiral, a frustrated outcry against reality's refusal to match our desired speed. We honk in traffic, fume over slow internet, and chafe at any delay, demanding that the world conform to our pace. This dictatorial attitude towards time, a stark contrast to ancient wisdom that advocated yielding to the natural rhythm of things, inevitably brings misery. Our attempts to force the world's pace are not only frustrating but often counterproductive, ironically slowing down progress in driving or daily tasks. True influence and peace emerge from accepting reality's rhythm rather than futilely resisting it. Patience has long suffered from a dubious reputation, often mistakenly equated with passivity or resignation to powerlessness. Yet, in an increasingly hurried world, this perception undergoes a dramatic shift. The capacity to resist the relentless push for speed, to allow experiences to unfold naturally, transforms patience into a potent form of power. This active resistance enables deeper, more meaningful engagement with life, fostering satisfaction in the process itself, rather than perpetually deferring fulfillment to a distant future. Imagine dedicating several uninterrupted hours to observing a single, complex work of art. Such an exercise, initially met with discomfort and intense irritation, reveals a crucial insight. The forced slowness, deliberately designed to counter prevailing pressures to rush, compels one to push past superficial viewing. Beyond the initial restlessness and desire for distraction, a profound shift occurs. One eventually abandons the futile effort to control the pace of the experience, and in doing so, the artwork begins to unveil its intricate, often hidden details. This is not passive waiting, but a muscular state of alert presence that yields a tangible, almost chewy grasp on reality, allowing one to truly get stuck into life's richness. Embracing this active patience unlocks a profound sense of purchase on the world. However, the relentless pursuit of complete control over one's time, often idealized in productivity culture, can paradoxically lead to a profound loneliness. While some individuals meticulously engineer lives free from external demands, like spending decades on cruise ships, this absolute temporal sovereignty can resemble a self-imposed ostracism. The issue lies in perceiving time solely as a regular good, where more is inherently better, rather than also recognizing it as a network good. Its true value often arises from coordination and synchronization with others, enabling shared experiences vital for human connection and collective achievement, making unshared time feel hollow and isolating, akin to ancient punishments of physical banishment. Integrative Analysis and Implications. The fundamental insight underpinning this exploration of time is both sobering and liberating. Our existence is profoundly finite, and the human impulse to gain absolute control over this fleeting duration is a misguided, ultimately futile endeavor. Modern productivity culture, rather than addressing this existential reality, often exacerbates our anxiety by fostering an illusion that with enough optimization, we can somehow master time. This leads to a ceaseless, unfulfilling chase, leaving us perpetually feeling behind, distracted, and disconnected from what genuinely matters. The central implication is a radical shift from attempting to manage time to fundamentally re-evaluating our relationship with it. Acknowledging our inherent finitude, the undeniable fact of our 4,000 weeks, is not a call for despair, but an invitation to liberate ourselves from impossible expectations. We cannot do everything, and embracing this limitation is the first step toward genuine freedom. This necessitates becoming better procrastinators, not in the sense of avoiding tasks, but of consciously and confidently choosing what not to do, thereby safeguarding our attention for what truly aligns with our values. This means letting go of the endless, overflowing to-do list as a metric of success, and instead focusing on the quality of our engagement. This shift also demands a profound reorientation of our attention. In a world saturated with distractions, both external and internal, the ability to direct our focus intentionally becomes our most precious resource. Our attention is our life, and every moment spent on things that do not genuinely resonate is a moment irrevocably paid. The goal is not an unattainable indistractability, but a cultivated practice of presence, allowing us to fully inhabit our experiences rather than perpetually living in a hypothetical future. This means recognizing the intimate interrupter within, the urge to flee discomfort, and consciously choosing to lean into challenges, finding unexpected depth and meaning in the present moment, whether it's through a demanding task or a quiet reflection. Furthermore, we must dismantle the "when I finally" mindset that pushes authentic living into an imagined tomorrow. The present, with all its imperfections, is the only time we possess. This requires rediscovering the intrinsic value of rest, not as a means to greater productivity, but as an essential component of a rich human life. It also means cultivating patience, not as passive waiting, but an active, powerful engagement with the natural rhythms of life, recognizing that genuine influence often comes from yielding rather than forcing. This acceptance of reality's pace, rather than constantly battling it, reduces our personal impatience spiral and fosters a deeper sense of peace. Finally, the realization that true temporal control is a chimera should lead us away from the isolating pursuit of absolute personal autonomy. Time, like other vital resources, has a network good aspect. Its greatest value often emerges through shared experiences, coordination, and synchronization with others. Embracing our cosmic insignificance can be a form of therapy, freeing us from the self-imposed pressure to leave an indelible mark and instead allowing us to focus on making these particular weeks count meaningfully in the context of our own lives and those we touch. The genuine fulfillment lies not in achieving ultimate mastery over an uncontrollable future, but in making conscious choices, cultivating focused attention, and finding peace and purpose within the beautiful, messy, and undeniably finite reality of our existence. Actionable Exercises. Chapter 1. Your What I Will Not Do List. You have limited time, and trying to do everything only leads to more overwhelm. The real skill isn't fitting everything in, but choosing what to let go of. Take a moment to look at your current commitments, ambitions, and mental to-do lists. Instead of trying to optimize them all, consciously identify 1 to 3 tasks, projects, or even recurring obligations that you will deliberately deprioritize or eliminate for the coming week or month. This isn't about failure. It's about actively deciding what doesn't make the cut so you can truly focus on what matters most. Notice any anxiety this decision brings, and then welcome the freedom and clarity that comes from making a tough choice. 2. The "You are here" check-in. We often live mentally in the future, perpetually waiting for an elusive "when I finally" moment to truly live. Break this cycle by grounding yourself in the present. Several times throughout your day, perhaps when you're eating, working on a task, walking, or talking with someone, pause and ask yourself, "Am I truly here right now?" Gently observe what you are doing, feeling, and thinking without judgment. If your mind has drifted to worries about the future or regrets about the past, simply bring your attention back to the current activity. Even mundane moments become richer when you fully inhabit them, cultivating your capacity to engage meaningfully with the only time you actually have. 3. Discomfort and the intimate interrupter. Our attention is our life, and distractions are often an internal pull away from discomfort. For one day, pay close attention to why you switch tasks or seek digital diversion, e.g., checking social media, browsing. Notice the underlying feeling you're trying to escape: boredom, frustration, uncertainty, or the difficulty of the current task. Then, choose one meaningful but challenging task you've been avoiding. Set a timer for 15-20 minutes. Commit to staying with that task, giving it your full attention, even as your intimate interrupter urges you to flee. Observe the discomfort and your impulse to distract yourself, but keep your focus. This practice builds resilience and deepens engagement. 4. The power of intentional slowness. In a world that demands speed, active patience becomes a powerful tool for deeper engagement. Choose one everyday activity you typically rush through: making coffee, eating a meal, walking a short distance, or waiting in a line. For a specific duration, e.g., 5-10 minutes or the entire length of the activity, consciously slow yourself down. Notice the small details, the sensations, the sounds, and the feeling of your body. Resist the urge to speed up or mentally jump ahead. This isn't passive waiting. It's an alert, engaged presence that allows reality to unfold at its own rhythm, often revealing a richness and sense of getting stuck in that you usually miss. 5. Embracing your micro-impact. We often struggle with a pervasive desire for grand control and monumental impact, leading to anxiety and dissatisfaction. Instead, embrace your inherent finitude and the power of small, present contributions. Reflect on your deepest values and aspirations. Then, identify one very small, immediate act you can do today or this week that contributes positively to your community, a cherished relationship, or a personal passion. This could be sending a thoughtful message, truly listening to someone, or dedicating focused attention to a small personal project. Let go of the need for perfect outcomes or widespread recognition. Trust that meaning often resides in these deliberate, present actions. That wraps up our exploration of today's book. If even one idea here gave you something to reflect on, give it a like so YouTube knows to share more with you. And if you'd like the next insight in your feed, hit subscribe. Remember, what you heard today is our independent interpretation, enriched with analysis and exercises. The full book has far more depth, so consider reading it to experience the author's work directly. Thanks for listening to DeftU Insights, where we turn great books into tools for growth.